Uoga wa maisha huo.
Nimeshafunga factory.
Acha uoga wa maisha.
Sasa Ken na Happiness mkishapata mmoja na mimi nitaongeza mmoja.
Kumbe ni mashindano.
Honorable Happiness, how are you?
Yes, I'm good. Good morning.
It's me here. How are you, Dada?
Yeah. On a border. How are things?
Yes.
Miss you so much.
Fine. We're just feeling very bored. Yes, well, I miss you also. Too much.
Yeah.
We will meet in Arusha soon.
Really.
so that we can accomplish this important task. So the clerk.
We proceed to item number 1, the East African Community Budget Estimates for the financial year 2020-2021.
Chair, Council of Ministers.
One, the East African Community Budget Estimate for financial year 2020-2021. 2, the East African Community Supplementary Budget for the financial year 2019-2020. And 3, the East African Community Vote on Account for the first quarter of the financial year 2020-2021.
Clerk, is it in order that all of them are laid at the same time?
Ideally, we are supposed to go item by item.
Okay, so let's handle item number 1, which is the East African Community Budget Estimates for the financial year 2020-2021. Where is the document? Okay, the document is being displayed here. Thank you. The East African Community Budget Estimates for the financial year 2020-2021 is referred to the Committee on General Purpose.
We proceed to item number 2, the East African Community Supplementary Budget for the financial 2019-2020.
Yes. Yes, because the minister had moved already, which is why we needed to resolve it right here. So, can I have your views? Talk low. Where is there a member asking to speak? Honorable Fatuma, Ambassador Fatuma.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Let me start by thanking the Council here for presenting the budget estimates both for 2020-2021, the supplementary budget estimate for 2019-2020, and also the vote on account budget for 2020-2021. Right Honorable Speaker, when I was looking at the rules of procedure on the interpretation on the vote of account means a special provision by which the Council shall obtain the vote of the Assembly for an amount sufficient to incur expenditure on various items for a part of the year. So, according to our rules, again, when you go to Rule 74, the Assembly shall monitor the implementation of the budget of the community through the committee responsible for budgetary control and other relevant committees. So, Right Honorable Speaker, whereas both the treaty and the rules empower the Assembly to undertake an oversight over the budget, but whereas also the rules are very clear on the vote on account and are not specific as to when allows the Assembly to give an approval on this vote and is not so specific, we can take either way, but then, as has been the tradition, it's always good for the Assembly to refer such an important item to the relevant committee, because right now we don't even have the budget for discussion so that we can have quality debate. So in short, my proposal is that the Right Honorable Speaker refers this item to the Committee on General Purpose, but because we are already late, we are expected to have passed this budget by June 30th, and we shouldn't be seen as an assembly that paralyzes the activities of the community. I would suggest to honorable members, if you allow, that when Right Honorable Speaker refers this item to the relevant committee, we give them a few days so that they can bring it back and then we can have quality debate. So in short, the rules allow us to dispose of the item today, but then in the absence of having quality discussion, I propose that it is sent to the relevant committee. Thank you, Right
Well,
Honorable.
thank you, Honorable Fatuma, Ambassador. But I think Rule 74 doesn't apply here because this one addresses the involvement of the committees of the Assembly and the Assembly on matters of implementation of the budget. Like when the Committee on Accounts is sitting, they are performing their function under Rule 74. But your proposal is taken. Honorable Kennedy Mukuria.
Yeah, thank you, Right Speaker, and I also want to thank the Honorable Chair, Council of Ministers for submitting in the budget estimates for the year 2020-2021, including the request for vote of accounts and supplementary budget. Right Honorable Speaker, according to Section 6 of the East African Budget Act, 1, the Assembly may approve a vote on account in every financial year to enable normal operations of the community in the first quarter of the new financial year and before the approval of the budget. Number 2 says, the vote on accounts shall not exceed 1/3 of the total budget of the community or of its institution. What does it mean? We cannot continue to discuss on the vote of account when a committee has not seen what is the estimates that are required for vote of account, because we first want to know, does it exceed 1/3 of the total estimates of a financial year or of all those institutions that the vote of account question for? Does it exceed or not? This can only be done once a committee discusses about it and present a report to the Assembly, and the Assembly may discuss on the vote of account. Therefore, I want to have with Honorable Fatuma that this is referred to the relevant committee that will present a report, whether it's a day or two.
Yes, Honorable Mukuria has gone off, but we got his point, and when he comes back, he will conclude his debate. Honorable Dr. Makame, then Honorable Fancy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me an opportunity to air my voice on this important matter. Mr. Speaker, we are dealing with the Budget Act now, and actually, before we talk about Article 6, which talks about the vote on account, we should actually be talking about Article 12 of the Budget Act, which deals with the extension of the time for passing the budget. Because, Mr. Speaker, the budget time has elapsed since 30th June, and it is in the powers of the Right Honourable Speaker himself to extend the time of passing the budget in writing, but you just communicate that how long will this budget process take. So that should be the first thing. So, because we are late, but we should, you can apply that retrospective. So that is one, to invoke Article 12. So now coming back to Article 6. I've had the submission by the Honourable Ambassador Fatuma and my brother Kennedy on the importance of referring this matter to the committee. Much as the Budget Act does not specify that it should go into the committee, but for the sake of a reasonable debate and a quality debate, it can be referred to, but we should limit the time. So if it can be referred to the committee for today, so that the committee reports to the full House tomorrow, because not say if we give a few days, that will be too long, but if we can just, for the purposes of digesting the vote on account proposal, and maybe if we can also have a word with the council as the general purpose committee, so that when we come to the budget, the vote on account tomorrow, then we are. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. That's my view. Thank you. I beg to move.
All right, Honorable Fancy.
Thank you. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me the chance also to add my view on this very important debate. Right Honorable Speaker, I also join my colleagues on proposing this vote on accounts proposal to be taken to GP committee.
Dr. Ndumbaro, please mute your microphone. Thank you. Honorable Fancy, you can proceed.
I also propose that this proposal of vote on account should be taken to GP committee for deliberation, and then for the assembly to have a quality debate. Because, Right Honorable Speaker, as we speak now, we don't know what is the proposal. Does the proposal meet all the requirements that they've been put? If yes or if no, then we will decide after the General Purpose Committee have come and tell us what is in. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
I think we can wind up this debate just like this. I had requested that we discuss law, but
now
there has been a lot less discussion on law. But it is okay. In any case, this is the situation. The vote on account, by its nature, is something that needs to be handled urgently, because it is meant to address a situation where the main budget is delayed and business must continue. Organs and institutions should not be paralyzed. Therefore, it is something for which we must find a solution without delay. That's the nature of the vote on account. But at the same time, there are minimum requirements that must be met for the vote on accounts to be considered, which means there must be a mechanism to assess issues of compliance, whether it is an issue about 1/3 of the budget requirement and the minimum of details that must be included in the request. So someone must do the job on behalf of the assembly, because in practice, practically, it would be impossible for us now to start going through the mathematics and look at the issues of compliance. I wanted to emphasize the point that the part of the budget that will be considered under the request on vote on account is part of the main budget. Therefore, the committee should not do the work twice. You shouldn't assess this request as if you are not going to assess it when you deal with the main budget that we have given you. So you should only look at issues of compliance only, because substantive details shall be dealt with when you are scrutinizing the main budget that we have sent to you. So, given that situation, I have to make a ruling that I'm referring this request to the Committee on General Purpose to be considered tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow, they report back to the Assembly. So tomorrow, today is...
Right, Honorable Speaker.
Today is 12th. Consider this on the 30th,
Right, 13th.
And report back on 14th, which is going to be a Friday. And according to the rules, when it comes back on Friday, we have to dispose it that day.
Right, Honorable Speaker.
Who is asking to speak? I can't see you.
The chair of GP.
Actually, it is Honorable Namara.
Yes, sir.
He's going to speak in his capacity as Honorable Dent Namara. Okay. Yes, Honorable Dent.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I was about indulging you before the ruling was made, but I didn't have the chance of doing so. But
from our internal discussion as members of the General Purpose Committee, these issues that have been raised by the members, procedure issues, issues of the law, and the issues of procedure, as have been presented by the members, but also given the fact that we are talking about 1/3 of the budget of the Assembly, and given what happens within, 1/3 of the budget of the community, and given what happens usually with our expenditures as ESC institutions and organs, we are looking at 33 or something $million. Now, Right Honorable Speaker, one day tomorrow to consider $33 million expenditure, 1/3 of the budget in one day, may not be absolutely possible. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, we have been waiting for this budget for the last almost 3 months. And the problem has been on the council providing us with the budget.
Honorable
Namara,
you are still on the floor, but allow me to guide your debate. The risk of the direction you are taking is to convince the Assembly that you need to scrutinize this request fully. But I just said that you are going to also revisit this part of the budget in your main, in consideration of the main budget. Are you suggesting that if you are going to spend more time on this one, then we reduce the number of days you are going to deal with the main budget, because you will have disposed of part of it?
Honorable Speaker, these are two different.
Actually, I guided that you just need to look at issues of compliance, whether this request meets standards for the House to consider it, because immediately you will be considering the main budget, and this is part of the main budget.
Honorable Speaker, if I may seek your indulgence, whereas we are going to consider the main budget, we are going to consider this as part of the main budget. We may consider, by the time the budget is approved, you may have some expenditures that have been made on the vote on account, which may not be in tandem with the global priorities when we are having the budget conference. So I kindly request, Honorable Speaker, that there is no harm in giving us 2 days, Thursday and Friday, and then we report back on Monday on the same, Honorable Speaker.
Okay, I grant that. Okay, I grant that. So the Committee on General Purpose will consider this Thursday and Friday, then the plenary will convene on Monday to consider this, because the community will not have the need of expenditures on a weekend, so we can live with that. So it is so decided, and Honorable Mariam, you are not going to revisit this because the decision is already made. Okay, yes?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I'm not meant to revisit this. I respect your ruling. All I want is to just ask for clarification from you, because as you know, we are in our own partner states, and we need the paperwork of this vote on account budget to come to us on time, considering that some of us are at home and we need to facilitate ourselves to print out these paperwork so that we can read them properly for these 2 days you've given us. That is all I'm asking, that for your humble office to avail if possible today, anyhow it's possible, so that we can access this paperwork, so that we can start reading ourselves even today. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. That's very important. And the office of the clerk should get into work immediately to make sure that documents are available to all members, and talk to members case by case in case there is any problem in how this matter is going to be administered, and help to resolve them. And please, I am also available for you. If you want to reach out to me on any difficulties that you may encounter, it's my job to facilitate. Honorable Aden and Honorable Rose.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and good morning to your all colleagues. My apologies, technology was letting me down to join this earlier than this. Honorable Speaker, I know I have joined the debate later, but I have heard your ruling on this. I was just wondering, has one of the weaknesses of the last vote on account was the fact that it did not have the detailed expenditure lines accompanying it. Do we now have everything, or is it just as brief as the one page as it was last time? The House resolved last time that any such expenditure must come with the what is called the activities that have been budgeted for the specifics. So I was just seeking a clarification because it's going to make the committee work a lot more easier when they have the detailed lines, or is it just a general highlight? I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, thank you, Honorable Aden. Because it is part of the main budget, and in the main budget must have those details, I'm assuming, I'm assuming that it has. But if it doesn't, then the chair, general purpose, please get in touch immediately with the office of the chair, council chair, to make sure that the document that comes to you meets the standards as were proposed previously when we considered this request. So that becomes an administrative issue between the office of the clerk, the chair, general purpose committee, and the office of the council chair and the secretariat. Please help. Make sure that the document that goes to the committee meets all the requirements that will help the members to consider it properly. Honorable Rose.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to concur with your decision that vote on account be reviewed and be reported on to plenary by Monday. As much as I would have wanted to have had a different opinion on that, but let me rest my case on that one too. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to request. You see, we have always had a challenge, even when we were at Arusha, when we are considering reports or matters of urgency that may require secretariat, staff, and all members of the council to be present when these matters are being reviewed. So I want to appeal, Right Honorable Speaker, that let it be understood. You know, you could make it to them that let it be understood that it is not the assembly to sit on its own and review this vote on account. It has to be explained. That the secretariat has to be there, and members of the council who are supposed to be there also have to be in attendance, because it is not our vote on account.
It's their business.
It is business of the council. So they have to be there to explain that business to the committee, so that we will have a very objective report to debate on Monday. And Right Honorable Speaker, I'm also appealing that as a secretariat transmits the documents, they should be transmitted to all members, the vote on account and also the budget. And I don't know how we're going to make it this time, because I know the budget document is normally a very big document that may not easily be downloaded on our emails. But we must have to find a mechanism now that most of the things will be doing video conferencing. We must find a mechanism of making sure that members get this document, because that is the outcome of laying a document on table. It is for the information of Parliament. So we all have to get these documents and review them and be able to make a very good debate on that day when we are looking at the reports, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Rose. Indeed, all the documents, you see, the committee works on behalf of the Assembly. So when you share documents, you share, I'm directing the office of the clerk to remember, you share to all the members, not just the members of a particular committee. Because any member, by the way, can choose to attend the business of the General Purpose Committee. So make sure that the document is shared with everyone. I wish there was a way to reduce it into a user-friendly document, but I'm not sure that can happen. But and I'm sorry that members, we have to endure this difficulty of dealing with the voluminous documents, because we are not able to to meet physically and share print copies. But Office of the Clerk, please try to facilitate members to make sure that all of them have the document. And then on another aspect of Honorable Rose's intervention, I want to register on record the apology by the Secretary General, who is attending a very important social obligation, something that happened to a relative, and he has to be there. So he communicated with me, and I wanted to present to you his apology, which is why he's not in the room. But he assured me that either himself or when the committee is dealing with these matters, the Secretariat will be fully present. And I also wanted to recognize the presence of the Council Chair. You have seen him, Honorable Adan Mohammed, the Council member from Kenya, Honorable Dr. Ndumbaro is also in the room. So I think the presence by the Council is very impressive today. So please, even when this matter is being considered by the committee, the presence of the Council and Secretariat is very important, because this is your budget. This is your budget. And most of the work is going to happen there where we are sending it. So thank you, Honorable Rose, for that observation. So, honorable members, I think that concludes our business today. And given the directions that I have given, I adjourn the House until Monday. Monday will be 17th, right?
2:30.
Will be 17th. What time, clerk? Or what
2:30.
time, honorable members? Because
2:30.
this is going to be
2:30.
2:30?
Yes.
Okay, so I adjourn the House until Monday 17th at 2:30. House adjourned.
We are not school children to assemble at 8 for
Nuru, acha kelele.
Wacha kelele wewe.
How are you, colleagues? I am now the